And here we are again. Once again, it's Frankly Football. We back at it. I am Brandon. I got my main man, 100 Grand, with me.
What's up, man? Set it off, Chris, man, in the building, man. We little click clack. We've been gone about a week, but man, Brandon, it's been a lot of stuff hot in Cowboy Nation, man. You know, we got have people getting injured, people getting brought on, people getting released that people want to talk about. So, man, you started off, man. Which way you want to go?
All right, so like you said, we missed, we haven't been here. Took a short vacation again, important life events happen.
Yeah, man, little anniversary weekend. I've heard you was off, with the boo thing locked away, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to say, you snuck to the phone and was talking real quick. But, yeah, we know you're alive, man. Congratulations, man. Happy anniversary to y'all, man.
The first one of many. This is number one.
That's right, man. That's what's up, man.
So, while we were gone, this is probably the day after we last recorded. The Cowboys brought on a big name on the defensive end, supposed to be playing the opposite side of D-Law, Everson Griffin from the Minnesota Vikings. And if we remember, last we saw him on the opposite side of the field, he gave us fits against Tyron Smith, of course, one of the better tackles in the game. So I'm super excited to have some good pressure and what I think is better run stopping ability than we got from Robert Quinn. On our line.
Absolutely. You get D-Law, the one thing that he needs is having a sidekick. Everybody's better. Batman's good, but he's always better with Robin, And so you turn around and put those guys together, Captain America is okay, but he's ultimate level when he got Black Panther kicking it with him.
Of course.
That's how it works. And so you haven't really had that at the same time in Dallas. Even with the great DeMarcus Ware, he had like Anthony Spencer, almost Anthony. Anthony would always be almost near a sack, but never being to the point of getting that sack. That's what you now have. Having two really good run-stopping, pass-rushing technician-type guys with DeMarcus Lawrence and with Everson Griffin is a great situation, along with the push in the middle that you'll now have with Dontari Poe and with the other additions of Tyrone Crawford. And we'll talk about a little bit about, what happened with Gerald McCoy a little bit later. But I'm super excited about it. But it also gets you to the point where those guys are not needed for 50, 60 snaps of the game.
Yes,
You've
sir.
got some guys in the back who we've talked about before who are trying to get on. You got a Bradley and now who probably may be fighting for a little bit of time. But you got a Dorrance Armstrong who is in a make-or-break type of year of getting that to the next level. You got some guys who can rush off the edge, but also get those guys, spell those guys. So it's a great, great thing. But you get a bona fide, solid, right pass rushing defensive end with an Everson Griffin.
Absolutely. I think that he can only do better than what we had at the position last year. I'm not saying that Robert Quinn is bad by any means, but he obviously lacked in the run-stopping department. Everson doesn't have that issue. Everson has a relentlessness that we haven't seen at the position in a while. So I think that he brings nothing but positives.
Absolutely. When you have a guy, when you can stop the run, that means he gets you to passing downs quicker. So
Absolutely.
Now if I stop it on first down, now it's 2nd and 11 or 2nd and 12. Now you're trying to do something to make it, 3rd and short. And so now you may be more opt to throw the ball on 2nd down. Well, I'm to the point I got a guy who's versatile who can do that. But if I turn around and start going 2nd down, now I got a long passing down, then I can pin my ears back and come. And you got two guys who are technicians at it. Not that they're super bendy guys, but they're guys who work their craft, hand fighting, setting people up with moves and things of that nature. And that makes it a great, tandem with DeMarcus Lawrence and Everson Griffin. And Everson Griffin has that dog in him to the point he knows who he is, but he can also humble himself to keep things where DeMarcus Lawrence can be the main guy who he is. And we're talking about how excited we're about Everson Griffin. How about a healthy DeMarcus Lawrence?
That's the main thing. We don't have to worry about back issues like we did last season.
Well, just coming off that shoulder injury, shoulder surgery.
Yes.
And now he's at full tilt and with a chip on his shoulder. This is the I gotta prove it team of the 2020. At almost every level, you got a guy saying, I got to prove to folks I'm that guy. Your quarterback on the franchise tag. You know, your all-world running back, folks say he's fat. He ain't the guy no more.
No.
You know, your O-line, you lost your all-world center. Are we still up to par? My wide receiving core, I got a guy who made $20 million, but he don't play on the road. I got a first-round draft pick. People trying to figure out who he is. I got a third-year wide receiver. People try to act like they forgot who his name was. You got so many people. You got your linebacking core with your two young stud linebackers who the world said, hey, who are they? They should have breakout seasons, but they regressed. They got to prove something. Secondary. I'm telling you, man, and then of all things, you got your head coach.
That's right.
Folks are
That's
saying,
the breath of fresh air right there.
Is he that guy? And he's got to prove it. Man, it's a, we got to get a name for it. You know, we got Team Toxic, we got the wide receiver, 40 burger, we got to get a kind of saying for this team, I got a chip on it or something, but we'll, how much chip you got, how much dip you got in your chip. But I'm telling you, everybody's got a prove it now type of mindset with the Dallas Cowboys this year.
Well, I did come up with a name for the position group, the front guys. It didn't last too long due to injury.
Oh no! No, you did. I think it still stands though.
Uh-huh.
The Sinister Six are still there. Okay.
That's right. If anybody is aware of the origins of the Sinister Six, it's a group of Spider-Man villains. And I came up with the name. I coined the term for our defensive front. Once we had signed Everson Griffin and started to see within the first few days of camp, this was at this time the first 3 days, how Alden Smith looked, and B, the additions of and then eventually departure of Gerald McCoy.
Right.
So let's move forward onto that, man. Gerald McCoy tore his quad in a minimal contact drill.
Right.
Antoine Woods. If you saw the video, it really looked like that thing was hanging on by a thread. And he was eventually released by the Cowboys because the quad was a pre-existing injury that they had then put an injury clause in for.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean,
what do you think?
It was one of those I'm a bet on me type situations, but it was also, if anybody else signs this, it's not a big deal. But because the Cowboys did it and released them, they did him wrong. I looked at it like Gerald McCoy said, listen, I've got a previous injury with my quad. I want to still play I want to still play. I think I can do it. And if I play through the season and I don't get hurt, I'm fine. But it's better to lose him now, if you're going to lose him, than lose him in week 8 when you turn around and you've got guys not getting as many reps or getting inside the system. But for him to turn around and make about $2.6, $2.7 million for 3 practices and have lost some weight, and to have good rapport where he can come back next year, where he can rehab all year and be able to sign again, why not? I find it as being very smart GMing by Stephen Jones and Will McClay and the Dallas Cowboy front office. How many times have we got stuck with a guy, he ends up getting hurt, it costs you're on the hook for millions of dollars and having dead cap space, and you turn around like, man, we really could use that guy. But they set the table for this starting last year when they signed the young stud Trigger Trey Tristan Hill, my guy, right? And with the addition of Neville Gallimore this year, I think it set the table for it. We talked about it at length coming up that we wanted to be able to have the D-line of the future set with a Tristan Hill, with a Neville Gallimore, and them having those two professionals, those two pros in Dante Poe and Gerald McCoy working this year, teaching the young guys the reps. It's just going to be a year sooner than we expected.
Absolutely. And kind of touching on Tristan and Gallimore. This is why we are lucky to still have Tyron Crawford. I know in one of our previous discussions,
We
I
did.
I
We
played
did. You
around
and
with
you
the
did.
idea.
You had me sending Tyrone Crawford to New York for a third round pick, and I signed off on it. I
And
signed
I
off
just
on
asked the
that,
question.
man.
I just asked the question.
No, man. You made it enticing, man. You made it enticing. You got me out there, B.
Hey, man, you got to season your food.
Right. I got you. You got to season it. Yeah, but oh man, without question, you turn around and you get the craftiness, the locker room leader, the galvanizer of that D line in a Tyrone Crawford, where he's had his best work as a 3-tech.
That's right. Absolutely.
So you got another guy with a chip on his shoulder. I got 2 bad hips. The last time you heard about me, I was up in a club whooping tail, but I got 2 bad hips and I ain't played last year. So now you can break this thing up.
I want to actually interject that a little bit.
Go
Tyron
ahead.
Crawford did play in 2019. He played 2 games.
Okay.
Still got a sack.
Boom. So with a bad hip and another hip about to go out, he still plays 2 games and gets a sack. So if you can break up your 3-tech rotation with a Tyrone Crawford, with a Tristan Hill, right? Sprinkle in sparingly a Neville Gallimore not having a full OTA to get himself totally up to speed to the NFL. Sprinkle him in. And man, I don't think your Sinister Six thing is as far off as you think it is, brother.
Okay. So previously, I had it listed at, of course, Poe and McCoy and Griffin.
Absolutely.
And D-Law.
Right.
And then you throw in the 2 X factors of Aldon Smith and 1 Randy Gregory.
Right.
How does this change?
Well, now it's just your Sinister Six goes to DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yes.
Tyrone Crawford, Terry Poe, right? Everson Griffin, right? And then you turn around, you throw in Aldon Smith, right?
Yes.
And you throw in Tristan Hill. Tristan Hill is part of the Sinister Six right now. He's doing big work, right?
I hope so.
The one guy of our Sinister Six that we probably won't end up seeing and being, because that's just a travesty on the NFL's part, is how they're treating my man Randy Gregory. Free Randy Gregory.
Free him.
Free him,
my guy.
Because I don't think there's been anything to come up out of anywhere that really gives you any clarity of why he has not been reinstated. You've dealt with so many other different people and what's going on. You've dealt with Aldon Smith being 5 years away, bringing him back. You've dealt with Antonio Brown and all of his shenanigans and his 8-game suspension. You've dealt with the wide receiver, New England, Cleveland. Josh Gordon. You've dealt with him and his situation. To not allow this young man to get back on the field or get seen or find out what's going on is a real travesty. But
I believe so. I agree.
It's also to the point where you can only be quiet for so long, especially when you're dealing with my livelihood. Mm-hmm. You're dealing with my livelihood, how I pay my bills, how I feed my family, and give me an opportunity to get back and do what I love and what I'm able to do. The one thing you said I couldn't do, you pointed out as being illegal. Now it's no longer illegal. Let me get back on the field. If you think about it, Randy Gregory has only had in his career 1 offseason. He's never had a full offseason in his entire NFL career. I'm talking about a full offseason where he can get to the gym, work out, work on technique, be with a trainer, work on diet, his entire NFL career. And he's still one of the most dangerous pass rushers in the NFL.
Absolutely. He can jump out of bed, brush his teeth, and come out and get you 8 sacks in a year. And that's a rare level of just I consider it talent, because I think that talent is God-given. that's a rare level of talent that you don't really see in guys. At this point, I'm skeptical if I believe that he's gonna play again this year. Well, I shouldn't say again if he's going to play this year. So we just got to take that with a sprinkle of hope.
I mean, no, not sprinkle of hope, brother. We got to deal with grace, hoping that the NFL gives us grace, as Jerry says, to get him back on the field, man, to get him back to the point of being able to get a chance to do what he does. And man, that's really all we can hope for, man, at best, man. But the Sinister Six still lives with my man Trigger Trey and the addition of Tyrone Crawford, who many of us, me included, wanted to get rid of for a third-round pick for a safety.
Well,
but because we wanted to get a safety, there so-called came a safety it came on the market, man. We could touch on.
Oh, that's an excellent segue. So,
right,
by way of his fist, Earl Thomas is a newly free agent. It turns out that things weren't so perfect in Baltimore as we thought. Initially, it just came out that Earl Thomas got in a fight and was cut. But more details came out, of course, showing that Earl Thomas got confronted by a teammate because he didn't know his assignment, which I think is just unacceptable.
Okay.
And when he pressed him, Earl went to violence. And it came down to a vote, per se, by team veterans. And they decided, you know what? We don't want Earl no more.
Okay.
So initially, when this first happened, I was of the opinion that we already have a lot of toxicity on our defense. What is one more piece? But the one thing that we haven't had in a starter, because that's what you would assume that Earl Thomas is, we haven't had guys not knowing their positions, as far as we know.
Oh, okay.
As far as we know. Okay. Not at a starter, because we know how some guys have struggled. Guys on the defensive line that I'm not very high on. But we know how they struggled. Right. But they weren't starters.
Okay. So what you're basically saying with going back to what you're saying with Earl was, one, you gotta look at the whole picture.
Absolutely.
The whole picture was since he turned around, he signed his big deal in Seattle. He wanted more money. And he got to the point of he was just, he didn't want to stay there, but he couldn't hold out. So he came back to play. He played well enough in week 3 of 2018 that we all know and beat the Cowboys by himself in the building. So he played great that week and helped the Cowboys to give the Cowboys an L. But he turned around, I think maybe the following week or maybe a week after that, he ended up breaking his leg.
And I actually want to pause right there. That guy, the guy who wants to get more long-term security, and then in progress of trying to get that from a team that did not want to provide that to him, and gets hurt. That guy who flicks off the coach, I understand that guy.
Okay. All right.
He had to play ball and obviously lost that battle.
Okay. All right. So now he does that. He goes to the team that gives him the long-term security. And from all reports, right, he's showing up late to meetings, not staying key on assignments, and he's regressing as a player.
Yes.
Okay. But he's always made it known that he wants to be a Dallas Cowboy.
Always.
So
chase down Jason Garrett and let him know.
Matter of fact, ran up to Jason Garrett and said, "Come get me." So now you take that. Now let's go ahead and take the other part of it, because we a lot of times as Cowboy fans think all these dudes are sit at home, watch film, eat, sleep, and drink football. But Earl got a family life, you know, and everybody's trying to act like, oh, they ain't heard about Earl
Here we go.
and his brother being the brothers that love together and things of that nature.
Talk
Because
about
we're a family show.
Talk
Family
about it.
show. Right. But Earl's got some different issues at home, right? And I think when you were talking, you said, you know, Jay-Z and Beyonce. What Jay say to what he say to the family, man?
So on the Everything Is Love album, on the track title Friends, great track.
Right.
Those of you that are married will really understand this. Jay-Z said, I ain't going to nobody's nothing if me and my wife is beefing.
Right.
I don't care if the house on fire, I'm dying, I ain't leaving.
Man. So going back to that, if you got problems at home, but your livelihood is playing football or slinging packages or doing HR, if you even deliver pizzas, if it ain't right at home, you can't be at your optimum level elsewhere.
Now,
Earl
fill
turns
me in.
around.
Fill me in. Where is home for Earl
Home
Thomas?
is in Dallas. Home is in Texas.
There we go. Now we
if
starting
I
to make
can
sense.
if I can get home to Texas, a little bit closer home, be able to solidify some things here. I'd have made plenty of money in my NFL career. Okay. If I can force my hand to get out, and the Ravens gonna have to pay a little bit of my salary for the year, it would kind of behoove Jerry, Steven, and Will to in twofold make a great transition. What you can do, you only sign hilarious Clinton Dix to a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. Right?
That's right.
So if he and from all accounts, he's getting beat out by his special team ace.
That's right.
For strong safety. If you bring for free safety, I'm sorry. So you bring in Earl, you let Hilarious go, but you also give another year for Donovan Wilson to continue to mature, play, and get better, but also learn behind Earl Thomas.
That's right.
Right.
So
so now your safety room looks like Earl, Donovan Wilson, Xavier Woods, who's in a contract year. As your strong safety, and then you can turn around and you can take a Chidobe Awuzie and put him back there. You can put a Worley back there in the safety position, because in your secondary, you kind of see some things kind of mesh out. You're kind of getting to see some things mesh out. You're seeing Chidobe playing very well. You seeing that the young Trayon Diggs, man, he can run.
The hype is living. He is living up to every bit of the hype, and I'm loving it.
He can run. He can cover. He can do it. And then you find that Anthony Brown may be better as in the slot. Maybe can play a little outside, but better in the slot. Or he can be your fourth corner in your dime package, where you can run out Chidobe, Diggs, Jordan Lewis when he gets back from his ankle, and then turn around and have Anthony Davis as your primary slot guy. You got those four guys in your secondary, and I think you're fine.
Yeah, I may or may not have predicted this about Anthony Brown, but that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. I was wrong on Hill apparently, but I'm right on this. It all comes together.
You know what, man? It's great to be to the point that you have an opinion, and your opinion don't own you. That you have the ability to have the humility to say, I might not have been quite on point with that.
Oh yeah.
So I give you that.
Absolutely. As connecting this to the Earl Thomas situation. Initially, the day that this happened, I was one of the people that asked, "How much toxic is too toxic?" Like I touched on earlier in this video. How much toxic is too toxic? But when his skill and commitment came into question, that's when I was out. So in a matter of maybe 2 days, I went from one end of the spectrum to the other. So I am in no way, form, or fashion to admit that I was wrong. My opinion, my take was incorrect, and I'm also not afraid to change my take. I will change it at a moment's notice with pride.
I think it's almost kind of like the same way you felt about Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
I don't want to give nothing up for Jamal, but I'll be happy if I get him.
Absolutely.
So I'm not, and Earl is the same way. Earl's even better. If I don't have to give up anything for Earl, and if Earl comes and loves Dallas and wants to play for the money we give him, great. If we decide we want to bring him back, we can next year. And if we don't, guess what we end up getting him in exchange? Because he'll want to play one more year somewhere else. We'll end up getting a comp pick. So I get everything I want, and I have all the ability to gain. Great player, need an approval point, cheap, right? And then the following year I get a comp pick. Because all I want is young, athletic, hungry, and cheap. That's what I want. That's what I want on my football team.
So you touched on it. You said if the money's right, what is the right price for you? What would the price have to be like? Obviously, I don't think that he would sign for a vet minimum, so I'm gonna rule that out. What would the price have to be like for you to consider signing Earl Thomas?
I would sign Earl on a 1 year, $5 million incentive-based, fully guaranteed incentive-based salary.
Okay.
$5 million. I would have it to the point every time he didn't make it to a meeting on time, I get a little bit of money back. He got to go out here and give me six. Oh yeah, I'm getting money back. Oh yeah, I'm putting that because you are to the point you have shown a record of being late to meetings, and you got to fall in line with this leadership because you're no longer Earl Thomas, first round draft pick, University of Texas Legion of Boom guy. You're Earl Thomas living off dead bodies, trying to get another one more 2 year more deal so I can keep my family intact in the state of Texas, Earl Thomas. But I can play. So I've got all the things going my direction. Listen, you can either run with me because nobody else in the league wants you. Nobody else in the league wants to touch you. You've left two stellar organizations. We can hate it or love it. Seattle and Baltimore are two teams that have been, consummate playoff teams, been the epitome of high character, high value, great organizations. And now you're to the point right now, you need a place to work. They're not cutting you. They ain't cutting him no unemployment checks from the federal government. He ain't getting no bread. So if he want to go ahead and play this year, he got to fall in line and show the world that he can be compliant, that he can be about the team, that he going to show up on time and do what he's supposed to do. So guess what? It behooves him to be old Earl Thomas. And that behooves for me. I can give him $5 million. Baltimore going to pay him some money. And then next year in the draft, guess what? I get a 4th or 5th round comp pick.
In a perfect world, it might even be a 3.
Right. Well, I don't know if it'll be that high, but guess what? It still helps me get what I want. I can then go and get this looming, young, energetic, talented safety for dirt cheap and groom him the way I want to inside my system.
I would love for it to happen.
Hey man, it's a beautiful situation.
Yeah.
But we had Gerald come on, give us energy, get hurt, and leave. We had Everson come on, give us energy, not blink, and it's gonna solidify that right side. We got Earl get cut, and maybe he's coming to town, maybe he won't. But at the end of the day, man, in this past week, it's been a lot of stuff going on in Dallas Cowboys in the world of the NFL pertaining to the soon-to-be 6-time champion Dallas Cowboys. So, man, put it up. You know what I'm saying? But our biggest thing, man, is, man, take a moment. If you spent this much time with us, if you got to this far in the video with us, man, hit the subscribe button, give us a thumb up for the likes, and leave a comment, man. We love to interact with you guys, man. We're continuing to grow, man. And we got more stuff. We got 3 weeks, man, before the season starts, man.
That's
So
right.
we just trying to gear up, get everybody on board. We got some different things we're gonna put out there to you guys. Got a giveaway we're gonna go. We're gonna go with our predictions, and we're gonna kind of bring some more people in, man, to kind of give their overview of what they think the season's gonna be and where we're gonna go, man. So, man, I've set it off, Chris, man.
And I'm Brandon. We've been Frankly Football. Peace.
Peace.